Okay,
It's okay.
cool. Greetings to everyone at home. My name is Matabo Mahlangu. I'm a 16-year-old from South Africa. I'm the column director for the POVs of POC's column, which is an extension of the Elements Edits organization. It is a teen-led organization that provides a platform for teenagers internationally to express their views on issues they face in the world today. Today, I have Esther Emeka, who is the founder of Let's Talk About It, and she'll tell you a little bit about herself and her organization.
Okay, sorry. My name is Esther Emeka. It's pronounced with an accent, but it doesn't matter. I'm from West Africa. I'm a proud Nigerian, and I'm the founder and CEO of Let's Talk About It. Let's Talk About It, it's really what is in the name. There's two main parts to my business, and one part of it is the ability to actually talk about it. Any POC, person of color, that has gone through any racial issues of discrimination educationally or even systemically, you could just come on my website, just literally just talk about it. And it gives other people that don't experience it, like even a little piece of that situation that you went through, so that they can understand what you've been through, even if it's on a little or on a smaller level. The second part of my business is the program that I have, and you can easily join it on my website / Instagram page. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Esther. So basically today's video is a discussion video where I will be interviewing Esther on her opinion and how she feels about the racial stereotypes dilemma. So we'll start with the following question of what the following questions are going to be first based on your organization as a whole, so that our audience has a better understanding of what you are doing, why you're doing it, etc. So what encouraged you to start your organization?
Well, I had joined this program. It's called School of Future. And honestly, even before I had joined the program, I already knew that I wanted to do something racially. Me being me, I know myself, I'm a very outspoken person. I love to be out there in the world doing whatever, but I never really knew where to start. So joining this program, School of Future, there was a lot of people like Ms Kelsey, and that helped me like actually get to the problem, because I felt like I wanted to try to control everything racially, but I knew even with my age and other obstacles that it's not going to work that way. So I decided, okay, what are the two main things I care about? Mental health and racism. How do I put them together? And here we go. A lot of people really don't have anywhere to talk about anything, but I know I wanted to focus on racial anything. So my thing was like, okay, I know that I would feel better if I could talk to somebody, or I could talk to multiple people about what's going on. We could have a discussion about it. So that's why I brought my idea to my blog page on my website, and then my TUI program to further the knowledge of anything. So that's what helped me get started.
Okay, great. That's amazing. That's really amazing. Next question. What is the mission of your organization?
Okay, well, my mission is to basically like set everyone free. Like being in this racial bubble that I won't be able to get something because of the color of my skin and you get it because of the color of your skin. It really bothers me, because I know that my parents, they worked hard. They weren't born in America. They were born in Africa. So the fact that they labored and brought me over here so that I would be successful. And I'm not gonna let my skin color affect that. Even though it's going to take years or even millennia to get the equality that everybody does deserve, or the equity that everybody does deserve, I know I'm still going to have to work harder until the point it comes in America or all over the world, in fact, where we all get to, where nothing is like determined off the color of your skin, sorry. And I know that obviously, like, not a lot of people are worried because most people are not most people, some people aren't my skin color, so they won't understand what I'm trying to say. But that's why I have my website for you to go and see, okay, you might not be able to understand fully, but here's something that this person went through. Do you think you're ever gonna have to go through that in your life? No. Well, now you need to understand that, okay, I might not be able to go through this, but I know that this person does go through it. So let me show them the respect that they deserve.
That's amazing. I really love the fact that you have a platform for people out there to go and read and see what other people are going through in the world when they don't understand what we as POC communities or POC members go through. I think that's really amazing.
Thank you.
So as a POC and mental health activist, how will you make an impact in your community?
Well, I recently just moved, so I really don't know my community very well, but I am still in like the same town. So knowing my town, I live in a place where it's very diverse. The school that I go to is very diverse. The people around me are very diverse. So it's not really like majorly white people or majorly POC. So my community is very like put together. They're not like perfect, obviously, but they're put together enough where there's no discrimination all the time. And like I've went through racial discrimination. Like I've had a situation that the story is also on my website if you'd like to go read it, but it's not like I have to go through it every day. And I know some people of color and Black people do have to go through that every day. But my mission or what I want to do is go to another community and try and start that there. Because I was born in a place where everybody's together. Everybody's like, you know, white, Black, Hispanic, whatever, it does not matter. Like we're all family. But I know there are some places out there, I've experienced there are some places out there where it's not like that. And it's hard for people to get used to that because they're like, wait, I just came from a place where everybody's together. Now I'm moving to a place where it's like, oh my gosh, if you're not this, you can't go to that. So that's what I want to do. I want to branch out.
That's amazing. I think that's a really good idea. And I think you're probably one of the most fortunate to be able to live in a community where there really isn't that much tension when it comes like racial tension. And I think it's really amazing that you'd want to have that for other people around you as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, the next questions will be based on you personally. Have you experienced, do you have any experiences you've encountered with racial stereotypes, whether it's personal or whether you've seen someone else have that sort of experience?
Actually, yes, actually in both situations, but I'm gonna talk about mine personally. Well, it's just gonna be a brief story. Like there's more, but I'm just gonna keep it brief. There was this time, I've used the city bus since I was in middle school because like my parents like had to go to work and everything. So I was teaching my friend how to use the bus because I know her parents had work too, so she wasn't able to if she wanted to do like extracurricular activities in school, she would have to learn how to use the bus. So I decided, okay, I'm going to teach you. I'm going to like take you to your house and I'm going to show you the app or whatever. So I drop her off and I'm getting on the bus because I already know how to get home. So I'm just waiting for the bus stop. I get on the bus and there was already like a tension in the bus. And because of COVID, they weren't allowing us to sit like 6 feet closer to the driver so that if anything, the driver won't get contaminated. So I had to sit in one of the only available seats in the back where there was already racial tension because there was like an elderly white woman and a couple Hispanics and a couple Black people in the bus. So I sat there and I'm listening, but I'm also like putting in my headphones so it doesn't look like I'm peering on their conversation, but I am. So the white lady is just like, she comes and attacks me. Mind you, I'm Nigerian. So she's like, oh yeah, and I know you're listening, you Ghanaian. I'm just like, first of all, at first I didn't know if she was talking to me because I'm like, I'm not even Ghanaian, I'm Nigerian. But whatever. And I just take on my headphones and I'm like, listen, I'm not trying to interfere with your conversation, but yes, I am hearing you because why are you trying to you're being discriminatory towards them and you expect me to just not say anything. Like you can't expect me to do that. I'm a young Black woman. I know my place, but you should also know yours. And like it turns into like a back and forth thing. She calls me racial slurs. There are people on the bus helping me trying to say, okay, you need to leave. And I'm going back and forth because like it's not that I knew it was gonna happen, but I did know. Being a Black woman, seeing everything that's going on social media and like even in life, I knew that one day it was gonna happen to me. I just didn't know because it happened to me when I was 14. I'm now 15. It actually happened around this year, last year, and it's just like I knew it was gonna happen to me. I just didn't know it was gonna happen that early. So like I've been preparing myself. So by the time like it's not really dying down, but it's like less tensiony. The bus has already stopped and police have been called. Mind you, Black people in these situations have not had the best luck with police. So I'm putting my phone up to record everything. I'm trying to calm down because I'm like, okay, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Luckily, the police, there were two police officers, one was Black and one was white. The Black one was the main one trying to figure out everything. I was like, oh my gosh, thank you, God. Like, oh my gosh, thank you. Because he understood the situation. The lady actually got kicked off the bus, but I had to go home with the police officers. They had to come to my parents' house and explain everything. And I was like, when I got home, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. Like, oh my gosh. I did it. Like, I knew it was going to happen eventually, but I did not know it was going to happen so fast. And it's crazy when you think about it, because all these kids are gonna grow up and they're gonna think, okay, I'm having a good life, and like, oh, this is gonna happen to them. So that's my there's a more detailed version on my website.
Yes. I think that's a really great story to share with us. And it's a little bit saddening that as a 15-year-old, all your life you have been preparing for that specific moment, knowing it's going to happen at some point, and it happened. And it's the world we live in. And yeah, I don't think any child or any POC child should have to go through that, should have to go through the fact that they know that at some point in their life they're gonna encounter someone who will say something negative or discriminate them or throw racial slurs at them because of their skin color. And yes. Okay, so the next question is, how are racial stereotypes portrayed in the media?
I think actually, I don't think they're, I know, let me not say that because that's wrong. I don't think they're overlooked or like not
Yeah.
talked about. I just think they aren't talked about enough. Like our past president, I mean, I don't claim him as our past president, but recorded down, that's what he is. When he was saying that Chinese or people that come from Asian descent or Chinese descent or Japanese descent, or that like it's the Chinese virus, and I'm just like, sir, that's not like, and like when teachers are like, oh my god, like what you feel like, I was seeing this story on this app, excuse me, and they were like, oh, like it was like a story of like something that happened in their life, and it was a black kid, and the teacher was like, oh my god, what's your favorite food? And then when it came to a black kid, it was like, oh, is it fried chicken? And they're like, oh, it's because I'm black. And it's just crazy because it's like we make joke, like being part of the black community, I know that we make jokes about things like this, but when you actually think about it, it is real and it does affect a lot of people's mental health, even though it's not talked about. Like when past President Donald Trump was on his Twitter, he was like, these thugs that were rioting, even though we were actually protesting, and only less than 3% of those protests turned into riots, but he still called us thugs. And it's like, what do you mean? If I feel like if we weren't here to slave around for you guys would not be here. This is not your soil. And it's crazy because even though it's technically not our soil either, it's a Native American soil because they were the first people here, but it's crazy because if we weren't here, y'all would not be here. But then there's still an audacity there from you guys to call us thugs, like we didn't work hard to be where we are today.
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing that. All your points were very good, I must say. How do you think these stereotypes that they have put on as POC members have affected our generation today?
Honestly, I think it's come to the point where it's kind of normalized. And then that's good. Like in our community, yes, there's jokes, but there's like, I feel like we joke to the point where it's like, we come to the realization like, dang, this is really normalized and it really should not be normalized.
Yes.
Like, stereotypes like, oh, that's why your dad lives up like that. Like, yes, it can be like a joke depending on who you ask, but at the same time, when you think about it, it's like,
it's not supposed to be a joke.
Right.
Serious. Yeah.
Because then when other people come around, they're like, they treat you as if like that same thing, oh, like your dad is not your life. Like my father, he's still in my life. Like my parents are still married and we're still like a family. But like the fact that if I were to meet somebody else and they would be like, oh, they would treat me like I don't have a father figure in my life. And it's like, I have a father.